Support for this episode comes from Modern Football Technology. Modern Football Technology provides real-time opponent tendencies and self-scout while eliminating manual data entry into Huddle, DV Sport, and Exos. If you're tired of tools that are time-consuming to learn and perform inconsistently at best, then we recommend Modern Football for a fresh perspective. Schedule a demo today at teammofo.com to see a battle-tested tool that's proven to perform and deliver value. Mention Coach and Coordinator Podcast or use the coupon code CC10 to receive 10% off your first year. And listen to our recent episode featuring Folsom High School defensive coordinator Jordan Ersick to learn more about how the 2023 California State Champion uses modern football to dominate their opponents.
This is Deontay Gibson, defensive run game coordinator, defensive line coach at Youngstown State.
This is Steven Siossi, the offensive line coach, run game coordinator, recruiting coordinator here at Bryan University.
This is Jeremy Hawkins, run game coordinator and D-line coach at Eastern Kentucky University. And you are listening to the Coach and Coordinator Podcast. That's the main thing for me. That focus is just us. Once we get to game week, we can, focus on scheme of the actual team that we're playing against, the first game of the year.
As camp wraps up, everything has been installed, and it's about refining the schemes and techniques, as well as focusing on the details. Today we are joined by three coaches who share their thoughts in the transition from camp into the season and what things are most important to them as they make final decisions on scheme and personnel that give them the best opportunity to win in week one. What you see on tape is a direct reflection of what you teach and how you teach. Video is important, but if you don't teach well, you're not going to like what you see on your video. First Down Playbook has been helping coaches teach better for 13 years. It allows you to present installs, playbooks, and practice cards in half the time with NFL quality. Coaching tools like video pairing, a player app, practice schedules, and wristband sheets have made First Down Playbook a program management system with everything in one place. If you're in a position of leadership with your football program, receive a free 1-week look at First Down Playbook. Call them at 512-814-6158 or visit them on their website or social media. Mention Coach and Coordinator Podcast or use the coupon code COACH24 to receive a $100 discount off the normal $700 First Down Playbook team membership price. Links and the phone number are in the show notes. First up is Deontay Gibson, defensive line coach at Youngstown State. He discusses how they refine technique, focusing on grading individual practice and watching film together on their individual period when possible.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just the daily evaluation. So we're tasked with grading every practice, every period in practice, any competitive periods. It's important just to see a progression. Also, our grades in regards to D-line is all about point of attack. What happens when the ball is directed towards you, / you're tasked with completing a stun, the pressure, whatever it may be. Like, how did you accomplish it and what happened post-snap is important, and kind of see those progressions from a percentage perspective. So, for instance, if a guy's an inside run period, struggling inside run period, and one of his big minuses is he's struggling against the tight end. And so then we may be able to cater individual or some game tape or whatever it may be to help make more sense for him. And the same token, we may see things that are really good, that work good for us overall as a unit. And so we might want to be able to accentuate that by the way that we play call, essentially. And then also for me, it's those combinations of individuals being in together on the D-line. I can also kind of use those stats to figure out what's the best lineup to be in to kind of mitigate any risk that we have for certain guys being in together or which combinations make the most sense. But really it's just a lot of self-scouting early on. And then the last token, which I took a little bit from a thing I saw when I did my Bill Washington internship with the Browns, was watching individual with the guys as much as possible when given possibilities, just so that we can grade individual, see it self-transition, because a lot of things that happen out in the team space, in the 11-on-11 space, you can see it at Indy. And so if it's a recurring mistake, then it's not the player. You got to change the individual drill. And if it's something that's that can be tweaked in Indy or it can be tweaked from a footwork perspective and caught in the individual, it's always nice to kind of look at.
As you're doing that and you're looking at how are we prescriptive with these drills, you mentioned changing the drills up. What types of things are you looking at to say, okay, here's what we need to do in this next practice, or here's maybe how we adjust this drill just to be able to develop the things that need fine-tuned here?
So one of the easiest ones, I don't want to say easy, but one of the big things that happens early on in camp is pad level. So we have cages that we use to help with pad level. The other element we implement within the cages is using agile bags. I'm using that as the ability to put between guys in their stances, one, to simulate base or put an emphasis on having a base, as well as having the ability to play with low pad level. And then switching up whether or not it's a run pass key, also alternate, kind of is influenced by how the agile is positioned on the defensive line. And so as I'm evaluating individual, if I find that from a team perspective, there's some footwork miscues or some base issues or some pad level miscues, then, we kind of can cater the individual drill that day, that next practice for that. I also think it's important it's kind of difficult to a degree, but I think you plan individual, but you have to detour and adjust if there's something guys just aren't picking up on. I think you adjust the drill as you see things are fit. Just shouldn't, normally on a normal day, you'll probably get 15, 20 minutes during the season. So in camp, you get a lot of time. So during that time, you want to make sure it's valuable and you put the foundation in and kind of quality control your own drilling is important.
As coaches, we know that some of the biggest hurdles to our team's success can come from off the field. Your team needs support to tackle the endless list of expenses, uniforms, training equipment, travel, and more. But raising that money can feel like a full-time job. Thankfully, there's Vertical Raise. Vertical Raise is the premier online fundraising platform using innovative technology to create the easiest and most efficient system available. Raise more money in less time with a local fundraising coach who works with your team every step of the way to customize the ideal fundraiser. With options for online donations, digital discount cards, premium product sales, and even spirit shops, Vertical Raise has top-of-the-line solutions for every fundraising style. To find out more, visit verticalraise.com and we'll get you connected with an exclusive offer on your first fundraiser. Next, Stephen Siassi, the offensive line coach for Bryant University, shares the 3 things they look at to determine who and what are making it into the game plan as the season kicks off.
I think the biggest thing that we look at in terms of fine-tuning is, one, from a personnel standpoint, where do we feel best in our schemes out of which personnels? From a volume standpoint, how much have we repped those in a culmination from not just the camp practices, but everything in the summer workouts wise. And then, what we do is we look at that and then we look at the efficiency. So in our reps, where have we been efficient? What schemes, what personnel match those efficiency best for the specific plays? And those are the ones as we wrap up camp that we kind of want to lock ourselves into in terms of what we want to spend the most amount of volume throughout the season on.
We finish up hearing from Jeremy Hawkins, defensive line coach and run game coordinator at Eastern Kentucky. Coach Hawkins discusses how the end of camp is about the details and how he likes to take a step back and mentor his players to become vocal leaders of the unit to promote a player-led culture.
Immediately right now, we're worried about just making sure that we are on all our details. All our T's are crossed and I's are dotted on every minute detail on the defensive line standpoint. We want to make sure that all the calls that are ran perfectly. We want to make sure they mentally know everything. They're mentally checked in. We want the effort to be endlessly and effortless to them. It's something that it should be a norm right now. With the effort, I shouldn't be coaching effort. I shouldn't be coaching technique. I shouldn't be coaching scheme. I should be just a mentor, a voice in their head to help push them through, small little minute things. But the details, that's what we try to focus on. And I want my guys in the room, older guys, to be a voice. I want those guys to be coaches too. I want them to be the voice that I have, stored in them for the last 3 or 4 years. And now they can push it out to the new guys, the new incomers, the transfers. So
able to move into that role of being the vocal leaders in your room?
So what I always do, I have a end of year evaluation at the spring ball, and during the summer, I talk to my guys that I think that will be and have to step up to be leaders. I let them know that's what I want you to do. I need to see that out of you. I got to have it out of you. So those guys I've had conversations with one-on-one, small groups, to let them know that you have to step up and be that vocal leader and push guys to get to the level where you're at, because we're only as strong as our weakest link. So it's not fabricated, but it's invited to do it, and they understand that they're empowered to get it done.
There are so many things we cover in camp. Many of them we might feel like that we have not given enough attention to, but remember that everyone is in the same place. Your opponents are in the same situation and have the same time. What's important is you stay focused on improving your players' fundamentals within the schemes you have installed. The cumulative effect of reps will start to take hold as you progress through the early part of the season, and you will start to see your players hitting a rhythm as you roll into the mid-season weeks. Best wishes for a successful start to the 2023 campaign. Keep tuning in throughout the season as we share ideas that are timely and delivered efficiently through shorter episodes. You can find the entire catalog of the season on coachingcoordinator.com. Be sure to check the show notes for related episodes and resources from today's guests. And follow us on Twitter @Coach K. Grabowski.